Alright, I'm going to try a relatively short video, and I'm going to try not to drop anything on the floor to create vibrations. Maybe that'll help to stabilize everything. I got a new pair of boots, so I don't need to wear my gaiters. Hopefully. Well, it can still get in there, but it's not as bad. Still get in there with the laces. I'll have to dust that out, but at least it won't get down in my socks. Anyway, I don't like boots all that much, but these are nice and comfy. Yep. I finally broke down and got me a pair of these work boots. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to try not to vibrate the camera, and hopefully that'll work, right? And hopefully this won't take me too long to work on this particular piece. It's got a fossil right there. Very nice. Too bad it's going bye-bye. You let me know if it starts to do this funny thing when I'm not looking. Okay? I'm going to get a new phone regardless this week. Yeah, I think Verizon's running a special, so I'm going to see if I can get it. I hate switching over because not all of my apps work the same after switching. Well, I can't say that for the newest batch of apps, but I gotta make sure I write down all the passwords and usernames just in case they don't transfer well. There's always a glitch somewhere with my apps. Especially with my contacts. The contacts are just only on my phone. I gotta switch them over to Google or something, right? A lot of times it doesn't work. And then when I try to merge, it merges with some of my old contact lists. I don't want the old contact lists messing up my new one. Anyway, so far so good. What is this? This is a heat treat, 390 degrees. Now I think this rock is from Jeff Head, but I think my friend Sal heat treated these, right? If I'm not mistaken. Sal corrected me on that. And I got a box. Well, let's see it. This particular box I think is from Jeff. Yeah. And I got another box with some heat treat from Sal. I also have some Hornstone. I was breaking into that before I took out these Texas nodules. And those Hornstone nodules are not as large as those two. And some of them are cruddy on the inside. Good challenge rocks, but I didn't want to mess with them right now. But yeah, I got some Hornstone coming up. Yep. Or whatever it is. It could be Fort Payne. Something like that. Those are related stones. This is some of my favorite stuff. Yeah. Even though it can be finicky and it can have holes in it and stuff, I still like it. Oops, I'm not supposed to drop anything on the floor. Try not to drop and create vibrations. Try not to create vibrations. Yeah. What bopper is this? I don't know, 5 point something ounce. Yeah. Should I be using my new mic tufts boppers? I should, shouldn't I? I organized it in here and cleaned up. What did I do with them? I got a bunch of stuff for Mike. This is only part of it. This. I got a bunch of stuff. I need a separate shelving unit just for that stuff. Just for this stuff, probably. Yeah, not only this, but other stuff as well. Let's see how this works. Nice handy 2.65 ounce copper top. This looks like an awl handle, right? I guess he does word turning on these handles himself. Alright, let's see. I don't want to hit it hard, but I'm going to have to. Hold on. Yeah, I'm afraid to hit it. Let's go back. I need more practice off camera with those. Although they feel great. I'm not used to the positioning, so I'm afraid to hit it. Why am I afraid to hit it? Because if I don't hit it just right, I'll snap it on video, and I don't want to start the video over again. I do not want to. No, no, no. Not tonight. I still haven't caught up on my sleep yet. Who knows when I'll do it? When I'll be able to do it. If I'm fully rested and I'm feeling like I can think straight, yeah, okay, I'll take chances on video. Yeah, what if I'm not up to snuff, or whatever the expression is, I won't do it. Nope, it's not worth it. I'll snap something that I normally wouldn't have snapped. Yeah, it's always a bummer. And yes, I got my natural tools out. I got my natural tools all set up. I got them out. I've got some other things to do before I start bringing out my natural tools again. I'm going to try to get my schedule on a weekly schedule. Instead of on like a monthly schedule. Like I have goals I need to do by the end of each month. I need to tighten it up and start doing them every week. Yeah. Start doing a schedule every week instead of having like a monthly to-do list. Because then if I don't do it 1 month, I say, okay, well, there's another month coming up. I'll just have to the end of that month. No. Which means I need to pick my to-do list very, very carefully. And try to do all the easy ones first. Right? Instead of... I've tried to prioritize things in chronological order. Like the oldest ones, do those first and then do the new ones. But it always pushes everything way too far down the road. So if I do a lot of the easy ones first, I can get to the more difficult ones faster. And the easy ones sometimes gives me practice so that I can do the hard ones. So I can go straight into a difficult one after doing a couple easy projects. Like what, you might ask? I've got a lot of pressure flaking coming up that I've got to be doing, like on first view. I'm going to do first views with pressure flaking. I've got to build up more strength in my arms and in my hands, in my pressure flaking, and make 2 new tools with copper, and then a couple new tools with antler. And build up my pressure flaking muscles. But I've got projects on the side that I'm not going to do videos on that require lots of pressure flaking. So that'll help me build up for the first views in the Edens. Yeah. So I can get those done once and for all and move on. Move on to a few of the non-knapping type things that I want to do. I just cut down a black locust stave a couple days ago. I had a chance to go to a spot where there was a bunch of new growth of black locust. So I cut one of the locust saplings. It looked pretty good. Now, it looks pretty good to me as far as a bow stave, but it's all kind of wonky. Someone else is gonna say, I don't know, dude. That looks all crooked. I think Native Americans are more careful than that. You're right about that. It sometimes took weeks to find the right stave for that special bow. After looking around, and you don't know exactly what it's going to turn out like. It might look good as a sapling or a small tree or a limb or part of a trunk, but you don't know until you actually break into the wood or split the wood if it's going to be suitable for that special bow that's nice and straight, nice and even as far as the grain. So you have nice clean lines that are easy to tiller. If you got kind of a wonky stave, it's difficult to tiller. Yeah, so you want to if you want to get that special bow done, it's much easier if you have a near perfect stave to begin with. And yeah, there's a lot of black locust in this area, so there's no excuse for me. I should be able to find a really, really nice stave, but in the meantime, I've got to get used to working it because I have not worked with much black locust in the past. I think I've done one black locust bow, and that's it. Maybe two. Let me think. I have to go by the smell of the wood. It's a very unique smell. So I was reminded yesterday or the day before. Oh yeah, that's a very distinct smell of this wood. Only once or twice, I believe, I worked it. Sometimes I don't know what my staves are in storage. I don't label them. Yeah, I know, it's a strange thing. So I figure out what kind of wood it is by the smell. Yeah. I have a habit of not labeling things. And thinking to myself, I'll remember this. I'll remember it. Easy peasy. And then by the time I get around to it, I will have slept many times since then, and I'll go, dang it, I should have labeled it. I put the year on it, but not the month or the type of wood or where I got it. Was it a trade? Was it self-harvested? Sometimes I can remember. Oh yeah, I remember this. I walked 20 miles uphill both ways to get this one. Yeah. Something to that effect. Some of them are hard to get. I remember one time, it wasn't hard to get. It was just hard to find a spot where the trees were growing straight. For one of my juniper bows, I looked for months for a spot that I could get a straight juniper stave. And I not only got one, but I got like 3 in the same spot. Yeah. Those I can remember because they were difficult. And I felt so glad because somehow the trees in that one area were growing straight. All of them, they must have been related. Who knows? Anyways, I can remember sometimes, but I've had staves where I had no idea until I actually started working it. And I go, oh yeah, okay. This one's hickory, and this one is elm. This one's white oak. All these open grain woods, they all look the same, basically. Let's see, the locust. The locust looks like a fine grain, not open grain, which is good. And I've got maple here too. I just looked at my stave. We got maple here too. Hard maple, it makes a good bow as far as I know. I've only made one of maple, but I think it was a kid's bow, so I didn't really push it to the limits. Yeah. With a kid's bow, you can make it like 10 pounds. It's like making a thick point. You know, when you make a children's bow, you make them like 8 to 10 pounds. If that, sometimes I go down to 6 pounds. I've made bows for my children before in very lightweight, and that's enjoyable because it actually takes it takes a lot to time to remove that much material when you're used to making heavier bows. So you're not going to mess it up. Whereas with a heavy bow, it's so easy to remove too much. All of a sudden you're way below weight. And you go, dang it. I got carried away. Now it's all messed up. It becomes a kid's bow. When you don't make weight with a bow, it's like when you break a point in half. You go, yeah, I can make little points out of it. Same with a bow. Yeah, I can make a little bow out of it. But oh well. Nice material and I messed it up. I took off too much. And it only has to miss weight by like 5 pounds and you messed it up. Same with a hunting point or a point made to spec. It just needs to be messed up by a little bit and you can't use it. I've tried to make bows to spec before, and I'm trying to decide if making a bow to spec is harder than making a point to spec. I don't know. It depends on the circumstances, I suppose. Yeah. If it requires a lot of bending at the tips and then deflexing at the middle, or shaping the bow in some way or straightening it out before tillering, you know, when you have to season it, try to, like, you tie it to a bow frame or tie it to something that will keep the bow in its correct shape while it dries out, and then you end up messing up the tiller. You've already invested a bunch of time in it. So it's a more heartbreaking to mess up a bow than it is to mess up a point. Yeah. There's more hours in it. But it's learning how to make or learning how to do points to spec is harder than learning how to make a bow to spec. So the learning process of the knapping is more difficult, but the mess ups with the bows for me are more heartbreaking. Okay, I'm getting to the point where it's thin, but it needs to be corrected for curve. I'm getting too distracted by thinking about bows. Yeah, I'm gonna get a new phone for sure, because the audio messing up is a lot worse than the video messing up is a lot worse than the audio messing up. And I don't have enough charge on my phone to make this a long video. I think it'll warn me if I'm getting low on battery. Yeah, I gotta correct this for the curve a little bit. Get some of this metal junk out. There's a hole right there that worries me, because I'm gonna need to take a flake right through there. There's a crack here that worries me that could open up. It could. If I'm not careful. You know, if I hit near that with a really heavy strike, sometimes they open up if it's an actual crack in it. It just looks crunchy though. It might not be a crack, it might just be crunch or incipients. Crunches are similar to incipients or similar to cracks. What are the differences? It's just differences in severity. How severe is it? If it's very severe, I call it a crack. If I can't see it, but I know it's in there because I hit it once already, it's an incipient. You know, if you hit it once and it doesn't do anything, there's usually incipients living in there now. But sometimes there's just crunch. Like you smash the platform and it's all crunchy and you go, there's incipients, but they're a little bit worse than the little beginnings of flakes because they're bigger. But they don't rise to the level of a crack. Yeah. So now you know the subtleties. Are you gonna remember it? No? Good. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't make you a better flint napper to know the differences there. It just makes you a better spectator. Yeah. Because you'll know a little bit more about what's going on. It doesn't matter if you know what's going on when you're flint napping, because flint napping depends on your skill of removing flakes by your subconscious mainly. The muscle memory is what's going to help you do it, because it's too complicated to do it consciously. Yep. It's way too, well, I shouldn't say complicated, but too subtle. Just a little bit of difference makes all the difference in the way that you're doing it. You've got to have practice to get the feel for it, because it's all done by feel, because we don't have measuring devices to know what angles we're at. If there was some sort of measuring device that tells you what angle you're at on a strike, it would make it easier. That way you can incorporate your consciousness, your conscious mind into the angle here. If we had a device like inside this rod as an example, there never will be probably, but if there was, and then you do this and you could see a readout, and you could position it just the right way and then hit it, and then you could see the readout of the velocity of this when it hits, and it'll stay on there, like it'll record the velocity on impact and it'll read it out right there, and then when you're doing this angle and it removes a flake, you can see the readout there. That would help incorporate your conscious mind into the knapping. But is it going to happen? No. It's not going to happen. Not with us anyway. You can design a robot to do it that way. A hugely expensive robot, but it can be done, I would imagine. Yes. Robots, I predict, will be programmed to do very advanced activities like this eventually. Yeah. Could be 100 years in the future, but yeah. As long as we develop equipment that'll give us the readouts on all the forces and the angles, yeah, we can design machinery to do this. Whether it's a robot or some other type of machine. But that's exactly what gets me frustrated about some approaches to knapping. It's the more machine-like I become, the less I enjoy it. I like just looking at it from a artistic point of view, an expedient point of view, not get too wrapped up in all the details. And looking at some of the imperfections and going, yeah, it doesn't look all that great, but at least it looks real. You're not, too well done. If it's too well done, it doesn't capture the look of an old piece. The old pieces just have that charm to them that you can't get if you're going to make them perfectly. Yeah, if you get the pieces too perfect, it looks modern. And we all like the look of the old stuff, so that's why that matters. If you don't mind the new look, then don't worry about it. I'm not talking to you. Okay, I want to get this lump out on this side, but I don't know how to do it yet. I can see some areas where I can hit, but I gotta be very careful because it's a heat treat. It's snapping halfish. Yep. Okay. And I want to clean it up with flakes. Like if I see some incomplete step fractures, I want to clean it up with a flake instead of trying to pick it out with a metal pick and then leave metal marks or smashy type pickings. Like when you pick it out and it doesn't work out that right, but it doesn't work out that well, but you got smashed edges, it doesn't look right. Smashed edges on that piece you tried to pick out. Like if I try to pick this out, a lot of times it just smashes all that and it looks it looks cleaner, but it looks picked at. I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes I can lift these out, but that one's in there. That one's stuck. This one there. I can lift that one out so there's no metal marks. But if it's not lifting out, like if I try to grab it from underneath and pull it up and get it out of there, because sometimes they're just kind of sticky. You can pull them out, but this one is incomplete. This has still got a lot of flake to go. So if I come in from here, that way I can get it. As long as I don't install a curve, and I gotta make it a little more narrow, just because of the symmetry, I can probably do it. See, if I symmetritize it, I'm taking off this edge and then it's moving the edge that way to make it easier for that flake to travel, but I can't move the edge too much that way because it has to be a convex surface. Sometimes if I move the edge too much that way, it becomes a flat surface, which doesn't run the flakes as well. It needs to be convex. Flat is not good, concave is not good. Although flat is better than concave. Like if there's a scoop out in the path, it's not going to go. If it's flat, it might go. If it's convex, that has a good chance of going. That's kind of far away though. Yeah, it's far away. Might be better off just picking at it more. Let's see. I'll pick at it more, and if I mess up the pickings, then I'll go for the flake. So sharpen the spatula tool nice and sharp to get under that. Pick it out. Use one of my Mike Tufts pads. Yeah. He's excited because he likes doing this stuff. He likes making the pads. I can tell. Hey, I got it. So now all I got to do is worry about normal flaking and not creating an island there, because it looks like it might create an island there if I'm not careful with the flakes in the area. It still is a lump, but it's not as bad as before. I was able to get in there, pop that out without crushing it anywhere. Cool. Alright, let's see. This next few hits are critical. So I need to get this right. And if I have a smooth tip on here, it makes better contact with the edge, and all things are good. What you want is good contact, solid contact with the edge. Okay. So everything, in theory, will work out well. Okay. Let's see. Aha! It did it after all. I would have gotten it after all. and it traveled in an area that I didn't think was going to do it. See that? That's what heat treat will do. Voila. I like it. Yeah, if it was raw, I don't think it would have taken that extra little bit. And see that little step fracture right there? See that? I like it. I'm going to leave it. It doesn't bug me. Nope. I mean, I can pick at it. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't bug me. Yeah, oh well. No biggie. Yeah. Alright, so next thickness right here. Well, on this side. Yeah. I do have a bad habit of leaving the bottom a little bit too thick. Well, it's a bad habit with points. With knife blades, it's fine. Because you want some heft in the haft with a knife. So when you're using it and you accidentally pry it by, you pry something by accident, you don't snap it right at the haft. You want it to be nice and thick down here with a knife, but with a projectile point, you want it thin down here so you can add the notches or whatever. Or you don't have to carve such a wide notch in the foreshaft or the main shaft. Right? Get it? Yeah, you got it. Nice. Good. Alright. I gotta focus. No goofing here. Minimal force for the maximum results because I'm hitting on the base. The vibrations could go ding. Yeah. Have you heard about the ding? No? You're that new? You haven't heard about the ding? Well, somehow when you hit the bottom, it goes and the tip pops off. Yeah. Think I'm making it up, huh? Think I'm making it up? Oh, I made sure I learned not to do that. I did it so many times and became so frustrated that I have a subconscious aversion to doing that now. I'm very careful around the base, and I try not to make a direct vertical strike along the long axis or parallel with the long axis. I shouldn't say vertical, but I try not to make a long strike along the axis. I try to go in at an angle down here on the base. That's why you see a lot of failures with fluting. It's because this is a risky business to do the long flake, the long thinning flake from the base. If you have heft in here, it's fine, but sometimes you don't, and then you try to do the thinning of the base, and you end up messing it up. Even if you have a lot of heft in the middle on a paleo that needs long thinning flakes, or what they call flutes, that thinning flake can dive in, even with thick stuff. So I try not to do this type of flake if I don't have to. If I do feel the need to do it, I'll do a small one like this. Yeah. Now, if the material is cooperative, I might risk it and take a larger one. Larger thinning flake from the base. But it's dicey. So why do they do it? I've been thinking about that lately. A lot. Why would they do stuff that doesn't really make logical sense? One of the things I came up with is they just want to do something fancy, and I call it artism. Just something in the personality type of that person. They can't help it. They got to make something fancy. It's just their personality. But also, you know, they might be showing off. Yeah. And it doesn't have anything to do with artism. They want praise. Look what I can do. See what I can do? Haha. That kind of thing. Do I want praise for what I do? Of course I do. Do I do this for praise? I'm wondering this if that's why I do it. I wonder. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I do it for the challenge, because I don't like it when it's difficult. I do like it when it's done. I sit and I gloat when it's done. Yeah, I look at it for days. Then I sell it after I'm done looking at it. If it's one that I particularly like. Come on. Am I going to be able to get that out? Come on, you know you can get in there. I can get in there, but it's the metal marks that drive me nuts. I can't get it from the other side. There's not enough meat in there. Come on. Did I mess it up? Maybe I did. Oh gosh. I don't know. Dang it. It's a little bit far away to get it from the other side. It's right where it shouldn't be. Yeah, I got a little bit too cocky. See, it's right in the middle where it risks breaking the whole thing. I should have just left it. Okay. Let's see. Dang it, I don't like it. I'm taking a few shots elsewhere so I can get used to the smaller flaker and clean up some of these other areas. Okay. I would feel better about this if I got some sleep. If I was fully rested, I'd feel a lot better about this. I like that. But this is easier to nap than this part. See, this stuff is nice. But that area, that's probably why it didn't feather out nicely, because it's not a nice area. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is nice material up in here. Gives me some hope that I can do that, but I don't know. I might not be looking hard enough in that area. I might be able to pick that out. Otherwise, I got to come in from there like this. There's not much meat in there. I shouldn't have risked it. No, I should not have risked it. When I originally took that flake to get rid of the lump, it was supposed to feather out nicely. Like it feathered out okay on this side. See that? Because that's good material, but it didn't feather out well over there. Yeah. I don't like it. I do it this way so I can make it more convex. I grind that way so I can make it more convex. It sends in little bitty flakes. Yeah, it moves the edge more this way, but it makes it more rounder. More rounder? Yeah, more rounder. Okay, so I gotta see that flake left a little bit of ridge here on this side so I can blast through there. Maybe. If I'm super careful. Supercalifragilistic extra super careful. Yeah. Let's see. Did it do it? Let me see. Uh-oh, it got stuck. It's a sticky one, but hold on. Where is it? Hold on. Let's get this. It looks like it's mostly detached, but we never know until we push on it. Okay. It's stuck. Yeah, it's sticky. Oh, did it do it? Ready? I think so. What does it look like? It slamma-jammed into that area. It looks okay, but a little bit too much force, right? And it did slam into it and take it out, but look at that buffalo jump. Yeah. Let's see. If I make it any more narrow, it's going to be... Or would I make it more narrow? Just to get that little... To minimize that buffalo jump. Hold on. Yeah, I'm pushing a little bit on it, but not too much. Come on. Yeah, it wants to travel, but it just doesn't quite make it. That's fine. I'm just seeing if I have any meat. I'm going down there, and it looks like it's too shallow right there to minimize it. It fixed it, but it fixed it too well. And there's something on the other side that doesn't look quite right. Yeah, again with the narrowing. All right. Okay, good. I think I can make these flakes travel. So you can clean that up a little bit. I think I'm just going to leave it there, and if it gets better with some pressure flaking, good. But if not, I'll just leave it. At least it's better than that undetached piece before. There it goes. I clean that up a little bit. Yes, yes. Good, good. Leave it, leave it. Come on. I can get that out with pressure. All right, what are we going to do for notches? I don't know. What are we going to do for notches? I only have 7 minutes before it's an hour-long video. But I want to put the notches in with the video. I mean, with one shot. I don't want to make this like a 3-part series or anything. I don't want to make it a 2 or 3-part series. I just want to get this done. Make it a clipped wing. Somebody wanted me to make a pine tree, but I think I'm just going to make this look like a Kirk. There we go. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Come on. Ooh, it almost did it. What was I thinking of doing? Just cleaning it up with a nice long flake, but it's not really needing cleaning up or anything. It looks pretty good. Okay, come on. I'm thinning it down a little bit to make it easier to notch, but it doesn't have to be much thinner. And sometimes it doesn't work well when you try to send in thinning flakes here because it can create an island. Sometimes when you don't even need to thin it. Alright. How do I know? I don't know. Sometimes I'll thin it without even needing to, and sometimes I don't thin it and it gets me in big trouble. Okay, here's the other one. Actually, I need my pad for notching. For edge work, I can use Mike's pad until I modify it for my type of notching. But in the meantime, I can use Mike's pad for edge work to sharpen it. Are we symmetrical? If I keep the workpiece down here, away from the camera, sometimes it works better with the focus. So you can see the hocus pocus. Can't see the hocus pocus if I don't keep it in focus. When it's up too close, it tends to focus on whatever is in the foreground. Okay. Sometimes these notches are better done with a long, skinny pressure flaker, but it's too risky. Why is it better? Because you get really nice pop outs instead of a lot of little peckings. You get, instead of pecking at it and getting a lot of little crunches, you can get some good bold pop outs when you're notching, and it makes it look cleaner, so it doesn't look like you nibbled at it. Why does it look bad when you nibble at it? It doesn't look bad, it just doesn't look as rustic. Again, it looks too modern if you got little perfect flakes. It looks better if you pop it out with nice bold flakes, I think. I can go back and fix that up later. And I can go back and fix it up. Yeah. If that notch is not deep enough, or if the sides are not quite right. Let me just get this one side done. Or let me see how it's going on this side. It's going okay. It's just Some of these flakes are sticky. There it goes. I'm doing this now because the spatula tool gets dull with the notching and I can't get in there and pop those out. I know, just resharpen it. Just resharpen it, dude. Just don't be lazy. Yeah, I know. I'm lazy. Or it gets aggravating. I have to keep stopping and redressing the tool. Is that like redress of grievances? Yeah, redressing the tool is like redress of grievances. Yeah. Oh, battery power. I gotta wrap this up. Battery power warning. Do I need to go deeper with the notching? I don't know. I don't know if I need to, but I'm going to. Cool. All right, so there you go. Yeah. All right. Let's do the sharpening and let's put some serrations in it, shall we? Just a little bit. Just to say we did, because we can. Let's sharpen it first. All right. Even it up a little bit and then we'll put some serrations. Hold on. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah. I do need to sharpen this. Hold on. It also feels a little bit crumbly or a little bit like it's got too much stone impacted in the tip because it's slipping. I'm going to put a little upward serration in here like that. You'll see. See, it has a bit of an upward angle to it. And then we'll do the next one. Okay. Get a pop out. Yeah. It's supposed to be a better pop out than that. Not supposed to crunch it. Yeah, like that. All right. Sharpen, sharpen. I got to use those bulbs of pressure to put in a hollow ground effect. I ground this edge a little bit earlier. I know the battery's going to say 5% here in a minute. I got to hurry. All right, so there you go on that side. Okay. I quickly put the serrations in on that side. Okay, now sharpen it. There, like that. And that's my good side too. I'm messing up my good side. A good material right there. See how I crunched it right there? And then put a step fracture? And that's the best material. It's supposed to be nice and nice. See what I did? No? Oh well. I can't explain, my battery's dying. No, not like that. Dang it. Yeah, like that. Yes. Good enough. It's supposed to be chirp chirp. I'm not going to worry too much about the symmetry. Okay. Just need the camera to hold on so I can get the thumbnail, so I can upload this quickly. It's not fully symmetrical. See how it's more rounded here? It's straighter on that side. Let's see. I can just leave it. A lot of artifacts are not symmetrical. But let's see. 2 more minutes. Nope. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Good enough. Good enough. Do I like it? I like it. Yeah. I like it. It looks a little bit smarter when it's got a flat base. Or slightly concave. Why did I do that with percussion? Because pressure, I can snap it across the notches with pressure more easily than with percussion. But that's just me. Alright? Okay. There it is. Nice, nice, good. Good. Finished, finished. Let's hurry. Yep, we're still rolling. Sometimes I miss and I don't see it that it turned off, but it hasn't turned off yet. Camera's still going. Yes. We have completion. It's translucent too. Yeah. Alright. And I'm leaving that in there because I like it. I like that the buffalo jump. Yes, I do. Alrighty. Oops. I'm shaking because I'm in a hurry. Can you see the serrations? No? Yes? Maybe? Alright. There you go. That's it.